So we've talked a lot about the A's on this channel because, as you know, the A's are terrible. They're one of the worst teams in the history of baseball right now. They might break the all-time modern record of 120 losses that was first done by the '62 Mets, and they're trying to go to Las Vegas. But there might be a problem with the bill that's gone to the legislature there, because a lot of people, 72% of people in Las Vegas, don't want to pay for the park. So we're going to talk about that in this video, starting right now. As you know, I've been doing a lot of videos on the A's because I find it fascinating, because the sort of the struggle for the fans there that are there at the ballpark, and the team is so bad. But the A's signed the deal. First of all, the A's bought land. They bought the old Tropicana Hotel site. The hotel's still there, and they bought the land. They're going to be on the Vegas Strip. Now, last week they signed a deal with the city of Las Vegas, Nevada, the state of Nevada, to build a ballpark there. But the bill has to go through legislative hoops. So I'm going to read you, and a lot of the residents are not happy that they're going to have to pay for this tax. Las Vegas is in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals right now, and that team did not pay for their stadium, for their arena. So a lot of people are bringing that up. From Fox5Vegas.com. Now, this hearing took place on Memorial Day. Why are the legislators hiding this? Oh, I don't know. Wonder why they would do that on Memorial Day. Headline: 6-hour hearing on A's Las Vegas Stadium bill yields some answers. Ah, really? You don't say. The Nevada legislature held a hearing today on a bill that will fund the stadium for the Oakland A's coming to Las Vegas. SB 509, introduced to the Senate Friday night by the office of Governor Joe Lombardo, followed the conceptual designs being released earlier that day. Lombardo's chief of staff, Ben Kiefheffer, opened the hearing. He began by saying the first time he sat in a state senate seat in 2011, Las Vegas did not have a major league professional sports team. At that time, people pretty much scoffed the idea, and it goes without saying now that all that has changed. Regarding the bill, he said, it contains no new taxes imposed against the residents of Nevada or our guests. Stadium construction costs would also include the owners of the A's investing more private capital than anybody has put into a baseball stadium in the history of this country. Principal analyst for applied analysis, Jeremy Aguero, answered many of the questions from state lawmakers Monday night, particularly about the economic viability of the stadium plan. At one point, Aguero made a connection to other big projects the state has taken on. Quote, "We've made bets and we've won a lot relative to that," he said, referencing public investments in Allegiant Stadium and Tesla. "And I suggest that element that has made us successful in so many of those others has a very substantial potential to do the same thing here." End quote. In regard to making the money work, State Senator Dina Neal asked why the state can finance the stadium but cannot put money toward a 20% increase in teacher pay. I'm not getting into that one. For regular citizens, they're not looking at economic numbers, she said. They're looking at real life, and they're saying these two things are not congruent. Aguero says the money does bear out in the end after the initial investment. Quote, "When we run the numbers out relative to the stadium, the state of Nevada, local governments, and state governments combined are over $360 million to the good," he forecasted. Those are dollars that will go toward our schools, into our roads, into our parks, to our public safety. He emphasized several times Monday night that he believes Clark County will make money on this deal. If the A's are able to do what they expected to be able to do, Clark County as well as the state will be a net positive fiscal position. That's the multi-million-dollar question. Will the A's hold up their end of the bargain and provide a winning team for Las Vegas to embrace? Now, they are very shaky. They get rid of their players very quickly. Is this a pattern they're going to continue to do if they're in Las Vegas? And for a team that's had a bad, relationship with its fans, a team that's had a bad relationship with its fans, what would you expect from them? I don't know. Steve Fisher's years as owner have seen the team finish with a winning record. The A's are currently on pace to lose more games than any team in the modern era, which goes back to 1901. They also drawn only about 8,000 people. I highly doubt that. It's probably less than that. It's probably half of that. On average, last in the league and well short of the 30,000 the team is hoping to attract for each game in Las Vegas. Some important context for that number, though, the team has always had attendance problems in Oakland, which many attribute to the lackluster stadium. The franchise has been bottom 5 in attendance 15 of the last 19 years that Steve Fisher has been the owner, despite several playoff appearances during that span. I would mention that during the late 80s and early 90s, Oakland used to draw about 3 million people. So they used to draw. Not now. UVCVA President Steve Hill also answered questions tonight. He was asked about whether the A's would consider other cities if this bill did not go through. He said yes, they would. If the A's do strike a deal and move to Las Vegas, Aguero says they'd pay a $300 million fee to do so. That fee could be waived, though. The team has a 2028 target for the new stadium to be built, a year later than what was previously told to Fox 5. So now it seems like Las Vegas is saying that the ballpark that they're going to build for the A's will not be complete until 2028, which is interesting. There's been some discussion that the illustrations are a little off for this ballpark, and that they don't discuss where the parking is going to be and everything else. But let me read you this other article, rather quick article. Sports Not. Oakland Athletics construction site in Las Vegas receives 2028 completion date. Less than a week ago, the A's and Nevada reached a joint agreement to bring baseball to Las Vegas. The initial plan was believed to have Athletics relocate to Tropicana Boulevard in Las Vegas with a target date of 2027, if not earlier. Monday's hearing on the effort to build an MLB stadium in Las Vegas brought forth a new timeline with a project completion date set for 2028, a year later than the original prediction. One of the biggest reasons for the delayed timeline is due to needing to demolish the Tropicana Las Vegas Casino Resort. Now, this resort is abandoned. The proposal includes building on a site that features 9 acres with the idea of ending up with a facility that can house 30,000 fans and will cost approximately $1.5 billion with a B dollars. As previously reported, this proposal would require up to $380 million in public funding coming from Nevada. There was a poll. People in Nevada and Las Vegas are 72% against this, because the hockey team picked up the whole thing. The city didn't. With the A's contributing no less than $1.1 billion. If the project receives legislative approval, it goes to break ground sometime in 24-25, with an end goal of being ready for MLB's opening day in 2028. While the reported delays may not be what fans wanted to hear, if the Athletics Las Vegas Stadium renderings come anything close to the outcome, most will agree the wait will have to have been well worth it. To finish this video up, the A's have a big problem in Oakland. They have a bad relationship with the city. They seem to have a bad relationship with their fans right now. They have basically 2 feet out the door. How do they spend the next 4 years, 4 seasons in Oakland with everybody knowing that they're leaving? How do you build a winning situation there? And Fisher, who owns the team, does not want to spend the money. He's a cheap SOB. And he's been a cheap owner. He's given himself excuses not to spend money for this team. He's let this whole nonsense of Moneyball. Well, I can't spend the money for these big contracts. Trade the guy. So what's going to happen now in Oakland? Because the returns for, in particular, Sean Murphy was not very good that they got from the Braves. And Murphy has played like an MVP in the National League. So what kind of team are they going to have there in Oakland when they're going to be the worst team ever, possibly this year, and they're going to be leaving. This is even weirder than Montreal. We didn't know Montreal was going to leave to Washington maybe a year before it happened. But this is just insane, you know, to see what they're doing to their fan base. So they don't have a fan base, I guess. Well, it's a very weird situation. It's really a complete total collapse of a market, and part of part of California that doesn't really support its teams. They don't support any professional teams in Oakland. They do in San Francisco. They love the 49ers. They love the Giants, but for some reason in Oakland, they just don't want to deal with this. They don't want teams there. They've lost the basketball team, the football team. I don't know. I'm going to keep talking about this. I think this is fascinating, the whole thing. So you let me know what you think about this video in the comments section. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.